What's going on, YouTube? Good morning, evening, or afternoon. Nico here with Easy Acoustic with a guitar lesson that is very important in your guitar journey. We're going to be talking bar chords, and that's B-A-R-R-E, not B-A-R. So bar chords are one of those chords that are going to take you a long time to master, but once you learn them, you're going to play them all the time because you're going to learn that you can play just about any chord with a bar chord. So what you want to do is you want to take the E major shape. So these are going to be E major shaped bar chords. There are a lot of other ways to play bar chords. There's there's A minor shape, E major, and there's also A major shape. Today we're just going to show you the E major shape. So a bar chord, if you think about an E major, right? Think of there, instead of this being the 0th fret, think of there being another fret here. And think about an imaginary hand borrowing this fret when you play an E major. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Act like there is a bar here. And you're going to take that shape and just, now we actually have a fret here, you're going to bar it with your first finger. So if you think about a capo, right? So if I were to put a capo on the 2nd fret here and play an E major chord, this would actually be what? An F sharp, right? It's the same thing if I move it up. If I put a capo on the 3rd fret here, then this would be a G, right? Because this is, the root note is the G right here. So basically we're making a capo with our first finger and we're using an E major shape to hold it. So the best way to learn bar chords is to first get comfortable playing an E major shape without a bar chord. So instead of playing an E major like this, take your E major like this. So if you don't know an E major, you should know it if you're trying to learn bar chords, but I'll show you anyway. So E major is, you want to take your, to play it like this, you want to take your ring finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the A string, your pinky on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then your middle finger on the 1st fret of the G string. And then what you want to practice is barring, actually barring the fret of the note that you want to play. So if you think about an E, basically act like we're barring an E string, but E string's open, right? Because it's technically barred. So if we want to play an F major, we want to bar this F note, right? So if we go up the neck, you know, F, F sharp, G, anything that we bar and we play an E major shape with, that's going to be what the chord is. So for instance, if I want to bar the 3rd fret here and add the E major shape, that's a G major. So the trick to learning bar chords is actually learning how to hold a bar chord. So when you hold a bar chord, you're going to want to have a little bit of space, and you're going to have the neck kind of in between here. You don't want to have it up too close, but you don't want to have it too far down. You want to cover it just enough to where you kind of put your line here on your first finger. You want to make sure that can cover up on the top string here. So what I would practice doing is, before you even put the E major shape on, just see if you can bar a note with just your first finger. Make sure you can get that nice and clean. Because once you can bar a note with your first finger, that's basically half the battle. The second part is just putting your finger down, which actually will make it easier because you're taking some of the pressure off just that first finger. But use your first finger and your thumb to bar a bar chord. You gotta use, you don't just use your first finger, you want to use your thumb and first finger. So if you look here, I'm using my first finger and my thumb. So anyway, so once you get your bar, you want to slide in the actual E major shape here. So if you slide up to that shape up to the 5th fret here, and then bar the 3rd fret, we have a G major bar chord. So anywhere you put the bar is what it's going to be. So if I put it on the 7th fret, that's a B major bar chord because I'm playing the 7th fret. I'm sorry, this is the 7th fret. Yes, this is the 7th fret, and I'm barring the 7th fret, and I'm playing an E major shape right next to it, with my finger being the capo in this instance. So the key to bar chords do it from the side here. You want to have a little bit of space in between here. So if you notice, I have a little bit of space here, but you want to still make sure you can bar that note down. You don't want to be like this. You want to have some space here. So if you look right there, I'm not the best cameraman here, but if you look right there, that's kind of what you want to have. And it just takes practice. I mean, your bar chords may sound like that at first. Just practice getting every single note down. So I would recommend, before you learn bar chords, learning power chords, because a power chord is the same concept as a bar chord, right? I mean, you're taking 3 notes in the shape, but you're just adding 3 more notes. Your middle finger, and then you're barring the rest of the notes. So really, if you play a power chord and you bar everything, then you're playing the same thing, but it's when you play all the notes, it actually becomes a minor version. So that's the second thing you can do with bar chords in the E major shape, is if you take off your middle finger and bar everything else, you can turn it into a major. So like Radiohead does this in Creep. They go from the C major to the C minor. That's an easy way to, instead of playing the A minor bar shape, which I'll show you in another video, you can just take your middle finger off. And what I like to do is I actually like to use my middle finger to bar. Help me bar the first finger, since you're holding a lot of notes here. So to give you numbers, if I'm going to play a G major bar chord, it's going to be 3, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3. And it's the same concept if you go up. So A major, 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. So that's how you play bar chords. Now they're not going to be as clean as this the first time you play them, but in time they will be, and you'll learn that if you play a lot of bar chords, you're not even going to play an E major like this again. You're going to play it like this a lot. So you just slide up, slide down. It's going to be one of those things that takes you a long time to learn, but once you do learn it, you're going to be playing bar chords all over. So just leaving you with a couple tips here. So first tip is practice just barring it with no notes here. And then after that, actually practice adding the notes. And then make sure you have that space in between the notes. So just take some time to learn them, but these are going to be very important to your journey. So this has been Nico with Easy Acoustic. Thanks for watching, guys.